There's something about Sigma male energy that just keeps showing up online. Whether it's in motivational videos, TikTok slideshows, or Alpha versus Sigma memes, people can't stop talking about it. It's got a strange pull to it, part mystery, part rebellion, part I do things my way. And somehow, everyone thinks they know someone who fits the mold. But what is it really? The idea of a Sigma male started as a twist on the old Alpha-Beta hierarchy. Instead of fighting for dominance, the Sigma moves in silence. He's not interested in being the loudest or the leader of the pack. He's more like the guy who walks his own path, avoids the drama, and doesn't need validation from anyone. A true outsider who doesn't care about the game because he's already playing his own. The internet loves putting the Sigma label on everything, from movie characters like John Wick to that one guy at school who never talks but somehow knows everything. But there's more than just one type of Sigma energy. Not every quiet guy is the same. Some are loners. Some are thinkers. Some lead from behind the scenes. And some shift depending on the moment. This video breaks it down into 6 specific types of Sigma male energy. Each one has its own vibe, its own strength, and its own set of challenges. And who knows, you might recognize yourself in more than one of them. Let's dive into the different ways this mysterious energy shows up. Type 1. The Lone Wolf energy. The first kind of Sigma male energy is all about solitude. The lone wolf walks alone, and that's exactly how he likes it. He doesn't avoid people out of fear. He avoids them out of preference. Being alone gives him peace. It helps him think. It clears the noise. You won't find this type at parties or group events. He's probably hiking by himself, working on a side project in his room, or lost in a good book somewhere. He finds power in being disconnected from the crowd. Not because he hates people, but because too much social interaction feels draining. People might say he's cold, mysterious, or distant. But that's just how it looks from the outside. On the inside, he's often calm, focused, and surprisingly self-aware. He spends time reflecting, questioning the world, and finding answers without needing others to agree with him. But this energy isn't without problems. The lone wolf can sometimes slip into isolation without noticing. He might lose important connections or avoid people who could have helped him grow. He may also struggle with opening up when he actually does need support. Still, the strength here is independence. The lone wolf doesn't need to impress anyone. He moves quietly, works in silence, and lets his actions speak for themselves. There's no need for approval. Just a deep sense of personal direction and freedom. This kind of energy is found in people who are confident in their own space. They're not trying to disappear, they're trying to stay grounded. And sometimes being alone is exactly what makes them powerful. Type 2. The silent leader energy. This second kind of Sigma energy is hard to spot, but impossible to ignore once you notice it. The silent leader doesn't shout. He doesn't force his way to the front. He leads by doing, not by talking. You'll often find this type quietly working in the background, getting things done while others are arguing about how to do it. He doesn't crave the spotlight. In fact, he avoids it. But somehow people still notice him. They respect the way he carries himself, the way he stays calm when others panic, the way he thinks things through before speaking. He doesn't push people around, but others follow him anyway. Why? Because he earns trust. Because his actions line up with his words. Because he doesn't try to be better than anyone. He just tries to be consistent. This kind of leader shows up in everyday life. It might be the coworker who never interrupts, but always knows the answer. The guy on the team who doesn't brag, but always delivers. or even the friend who listens more than he talks, but somehow always gives the best advice. But this kind of energy comes with challenges. The silent leader can be misunderstood. People might think he's cold or disconnected. Others may try to take credit for his work because he doesn't defend himself loudly. And in groups filled with louder personalities, he may be overlooked even when he's the one keeping everything together. Still, there's real strength in this kind of quiet leadership. It's grounded in calm confidence, not ego. It doesn't need constant praise. And in a world full of noise, that kind of silent stability can be rare and powerful. Type 3, the rule breaker, nonconformist energy. Some people follow the rules. Others question them. This Sigma energy type breaks them. The rule breaker doesn't care what the system says. If something doesn't make sense, he'll challenge it. If something feels fake, he'll reject it. His mind is built to see through lies, social games, and traditions that no longer work. This kind of Sigma energy is loud in action, not volume. The nonconformist doesn't need to protest or argue. He simply walks away and builds his own way. He doesn't want to fit in. He wants to be real. And real doesn't always look normal. At school, this might be the guy who skips classes but still aces the test. At work, it's the employee who ignores office politics and still outperforms everyone. In life, it's the man who doesn't follow the go to college, get a job, retire at 65 script, because he knows that script doesn't fit everyone. But this energy can also come at a price. When you go against the grain, people will push back. Society doesn't like rebels. Friends may not understand him. Family might worry about his choices. And even he might wonder if he's going too far at times. There's also the risk of becoming a contrarian just for the sake of it, doing the opposite of what's expected, even when it doesn't help. That's when the energy loses direction and becomes stubbornness instead of strength. Still, when used with purpose, the rule-breaker energy is powerful. It questions what others accept without thinking. It challenges lazy thinking. It demands truth. And in a world that often rewards fake confidence and surface-level success, that kind of raw honesty stands out. The nonconformist doesn't just reject the world, he rebuilds it in a way that works better for him. And sometimes that new path becomes the one others follow later. Type 4, the purpose-driven energy. This type of Sigma energy is powered by one thing, a mission. The purpose-driven Sigma isn't here to just exist, he's here to do something that matters. He has goals that go beyond money, status, or approval. His drive comes from within. You'll recognize this energy in people who are deeply focused. They might not talk much about their goals, but everything they do points in that direction. Whether it's writing a book, building a business, protecting their family, or mastering a skill, they don't waste time. This kind of focus creates a powerful presence. Others may not understand it, but they can feel it. It's the energy of someone who wakes up with a reason, who doesn't need motivation quotes or pep talks. The mission itself is the fuel. But this energy isn't always easy to carry. Being so locked into a goal can create tunnel vision. The purpose-driven type might push relationships aside. He might ignore his health, his rest, or his emotional needs in the name of progress. Burnout can sneak up fast. There's also a risk of tying identity too closely to the mission. If the goal fails or shifts, the person can feel lost. Purpose gives strength, but it can also become a trap if it's the only thing holding someone together. Still, when it's balanced, this energy is unstoppable. It creates focus in a distracted world. It keeps going when others quit. It builds something real, something lasting. The purpose-driven Sigma isn't just working hard, he's working with intention. Every step has meaning. And that kind of energy doesn't just move his life forward. It inspires others too. Type 5. The calm strategist. Energy. This kind of Sigma energy is all about observation and timing. The calm strategist doesn't rush. He watches. He plans. While others are busy reacting, he's already 3 steps ahead. His mind works in silence, and that silence gives him power. This type doesn't chase attention or jump into every debate. Instead, he studies people. He notices patterns. He knows when to speak and when to stay quiet. He doesn't act on impulse, he acts with purpose. Every move is part of a bigger plan. You'll see this energy in someone who always seems to know what's going on, even when they don't say much. They rarely look stressed, even under pressure. Their calm isn't fake, it's built from confidence in their thinking. But this strength can also turn into a weakness. Overthinking is the danger here. The calm strategist might get stuck in planning mode, afraid to take action until everything feels perfect. He might miss chances that needed boldness, not caution. There's also the risk of becoming too emotionally distant. When you spend all your time observing, you can forget to connect. Relationships need presence, not just strategy. Still, this energy brings stability. In a fast, loud world, the calm strategist sees clearly. He's not the loudest voice in the room, but he's often the wisest. And when he does act, it counts. This kind of Sigma doesn't just move through life. He moves with purpose, clarity, and control. And in the long run, that's what builds true strength. Type 6. The adaptive, situational energy. Not all Sigma energy looks the same all the time. Some people move between modes depending on what the situation calls for. This is the adaptive Sigma. He reads the room, understands the context, and chooses his energy wisely. At work, he might step into a leadership role because it's needed. At home, he might stay quiet and observant. Around friends, he could be relaxed and talkative. Around strangers, calm and reserved. He adjusts without faking anything. It's still him, just different sides of him showing up where they make the most sense. This flexibility is powerful. It shows self-awareness. It shows control. And most of all, it shows emotional intelligence. The adaptive Sigma isn't stuck in a single identity. He knows when to pull back and when to lean in. He can switch gears without losing who he is. Some people might call him unpredictable. Others might say he's hard to read. But he's not trying to confuse anyone. He's just choosing how to show up based on what matters in the moment. This energy is especially useful in a world that keeps changing. Rigid people break when things shift. But the adaptive type bends, flows, and adjusts. He's not interested in being one thing forever. He's interested in being effective without losing authenticity. Still, there are risks. Too much shifting can lead to confusion about identity. The adaptive Sigma might start wondering who he really is underneath all the roles. Others might think he's inconsistent or even fake, when really he's just complex. The key is staying grounded. When this energy is rooted in truth, it's one of the most powerful forms of Sigma energy there is. It brings balance, depth, and the ability to navigate almost any environment. The adaptive Sigma doesn't need a fixed label. He just needs the freedom to move the way he knows works best, for him. Sigma male energy is often seen as one single thing, a quiet, lone outsider who avoids everyone and does his own thing. But as you've seen, it's more layered than that. It's not just about being alone. It's not about rejecting society completely. And it's definitely not about pretending to be someone you're not. There are different ways this energy shows up in real life. Some people find strength in silence. Others lead without needing attention. Some break the rules. Some live with deep purpose. Some plan every step. And some shift between all of them, depending on where they are in life. The real value in understanding these types isn't to box yourself in. It's to recognize the parts of yourself that move with confidence, clarity, and independence, even when no one is watching. That's the real Sigma energy. It's also worth remembering that this is a pop culture concept, not a science. You don't need to live up to a label. You don't need to act a certain way to fit in. But thinking about energy, mindset, and behavior like this can help you better understand yourself and maybe make better choices. If you saw yourself in any of these 6 types, that's great. But it's not about choosing one forever. Most people carry pieces of each type, and those pieces grow or shrink depending on what life throws at them. What matters is staying real, staying grounded, and choosing your path, not just following one. Thanks for watching.